My Outlander has needed an upgrade for quite some time. A very important piece. You see, my 2003 Mitsubishi Outlander came with reflector housings for the lights. And for the time, they were fine, but the times have changed, man. We got some new stuff. We got HIDs, LEDs, and more importantly, they make projector housings for cars. Just not this one. So I had to go looking online, and I've been looking for years. And wouldn't you know it, finally someone has made a retrofit, just drop and swap conversion. Look at that. Ain't that slick? All right. So this is done by some dude called Crazy the God over in Taiwan. And the thing about it is, you will need to do a little bit of adjustment. It's not as drop and swap as they thought, because these are technically European spec. So I have to adjust them for legal reasons. And I have to do a slight little work on it. I'll show you what I mean. With me, and you'll see a whole house of where I do my stuff here. I have a 9007 headlight connection. These are H4s. So I either have to splice the wires in or get a harness that converts it. I'm gonna go for the harness because just in case I don't like these for some odd reason, I want to be able to remove everything real easily, make everything simple. It's the standard system, you know, you got the ballast, you got the HIDs that go in there, you got the connection for the power. Then over here, all these white wires, this is for the halos. So I gotta find a place to splice that in there. Now, I've got a video comparing my stock reflector housings with my Sylvania Silver Star halogen bulbs. That will be in a link in a card, like up here somewhere. There-ish. Dude, I am sweating my bearings off here because, oh, weird angle. It is hot. Hot, hot, hot. All up in this place. Because right now in Illinois, it's extremely humid. I mean, check out my hair, man. When you have curly hair, you just want to have straight hair. All right. Go along with me, right? Old, new. Old, new. Before and after, here and there. So, replacing these things is super easy. It's just, gotta get all the wires in the right spots. One of the wires over here is in a very precarious spot. It's way underneath everything. I'll get it. See the little light bulb? That goes way down, all up under this thing. It's gonna be a pain in the butt to get that, but I'll get it. Feel my way through the darkness. That was an awkward little bugger. It is. Can I even focus on this, where this is? Alright, well, you know what? It's connected to that harness down there, and that wire, yeah, that's a really tight fit. Whew! All that tape holding stuff down, it goes underneath all this. I had to really squeeze my hand all up in there, but hey, I got it, because I got these magic fingers. Now, there's really not much to getting this thing out. It just undo that bolt. Undo that bolt, and there's another bolt under here which are held in, this thing's held in by plastic rivets. Just gotta remove that, and then pop it back in when I'm done. I can get this thing out. Release the Kraken! I am free! After finagling with some wires and stuff, because one of them was really being a pain in the butt. That one right there, don't tell anyone. Yeah, that one was being mean. Oh, you know what's also mean is the heat. Maybe I'm born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline. How do you like them apples? In every life, a little rain must fall. Knocked one thing over, literal domino effect. Nothing's on the floor. Dang it. And now for the big reveal. Check it out. It's pretty slick looking. Now, one of the things I had to do was use one of the old wire harnesses from the other lights, because these European lights are a little different. In the other lights, there was a light right over here. Look into my eyes, for I glow. Well, if you want to see that, first I gotta connect the power for the halos to the parking light. Now, lucky for me, the original wire harness that came with my vehicle with the reflectors actually has 2 separate connections for parking lights, where the new headlights only have 1. I can utilize that second connection to power the halos. But in order to do that, I gotta get power from there to this. So I got a little trick up my sleeve. See, I'm gonna make a removable connection. The connection for the power to the harness will go right in here. Ba-doom. Now normally there'd be a light bulb in here, but instead, I'm gonna solder these wires to the insides of these connections. And that way I can create a completely removable system. Well, it's kind of a shoddy job, but I think it'll work for now. Let's go try it out. So, with a simple little connection right here, because who knew the factory wiring harness would be better than the aftermarket one, huh? That connection goes into there, that soldered connection then goes to this little inverter box, or not an inverter really, I'm pretty sure it's still DC. But then this. That's beautiful. Ah, isn't she gorgeous? Now, just got to do the same thing for the other side. Yeah, baby, check it out. That is pretty freaking sweet if I do say so myself. Oh, let me see your halo, halo, halo. Pretty nice. Pretty nice. So it turns out, yeah, the factory wiring harness has more options than the aftermarket one. That was super simple. I mean, that's like a basic thing to be able to do. Now I just gotta wait for the 9007 to HB4 adapter cables to come in so I can actually use the 6000 Kelvin HID light. And with the magic of video editing and Amazon Prime, 2 days later, we now have the wiring harness to convert 9007 to H4. Well, that was probably the most painless part of this whole procedure. Look at that. That is on the low beams. That is a sharp cutoff right there. That is square, if I've ever seen it. Let's go turn on the high beams. HIDs have to warm up for the first few seconds, but let's see what happens. High beams, activate! Oh, okay. I think we got a winner here. Rock on. Hold on. Let's change it back. Let me get my focus. All right. High beams, low beams. High beams, low beams. Ah, snap-a-jappas. Take a look. That is pretty freaking sweet. It's actually daytime for once. I'm awake during the day. What is this? I thought it was a vampire or something. I'm always awake at night and sleeping during the day, which is why I did all this. So in order to make sure this connection here stays good and these wires don't accidentally touch and moisture don't get in there, I've got some silicone. I'm just going to fill it up with some silicone, and that should make sure that nothing bad happens in there. I think that's enough silicone. Once this is all dried up, I can put it back in the car. I mounted the ballasts in a spot that's kind of out of the way, as well as the controller that converts electricity for the halos on both sides. Scotch makes these things, they are incredibly strong. I wonder what they're called. There's something over here. Blah, blah, blah. These things, Scotch fasteners. These things are amazing. It's like Velcro, only like 1,000,000 times better. And I mean like 1,000,000 times better. I mean, check it. This thing has been on the top of my car. That's a secret. But it's been on top of my car for years now, through the rain, the snow, the sweltering heat, and everything in between, and it's not budged an inch. And these things really, really stick. So if I ever wanted to remove these, I can. But until I do, they are gonna stay in place like a rock. So check it out. This is the headlights on the low beams. And when I bring it to high beams, whoosh. Now, there are a few glitches here with going back and forth between them, and that's probably because I need to get a relay harness. But you can get them both to work, you just have to cycle them a few times once in a while. But the amount of light is incredible, and they will need to be adjusted. I've been adjusting them for the last 10 minutes. It was raining really hard out of nowhere. So here's the final verdict. These things are a serious upgrade from my reflector housings. And it's not necessarily because they're HIDs, because if they were halogens, they would still be an upgrade. It's because these things focus the beam of light really intensely in front of you and just a little bit on the sides, whereas the reflector housings kind of more do a flood effect with kind of centering just a little bit. Now, the thing about these is I'm going to have to continue to adjust them, because you can adjust the angle of the light, you can adjust up and down, left and right. And I gotta get that a little better, because when it first started out, it was really, really low, and I couldn't see more than 25 feet in front of me, but that 25 feet was really bright, and then, you know, I had to fix that. And then once I fixed that, you know, it's just a matter of some slight tweaking. But the ballasts that run the HIDs, that needs to be worked on a little bit. You see, normally when you're running bi-xenons in a car like this, you have to have a connection directly to the battery with a relay. Otherwise, you get problems. And one of the problems I'm having is when you turn the brights on, sometimes only one light comes on and the other one doesn't. And it switches back and forth between the left and right. Sometimes they turn off completely. Sometimes they kinda, one turns on bright, one's not, so it's a little weird. But really it's a symptom of not enough power to the ballasts to power the HIDs. Easy fix. You just gotta get the proper harness with a good relay, which I'm gonna do in the future. But that doesn't make these any worse. And in fact, the color temperature is beautiful. Crisp, clean, clear. And heck, I might actually try LEDs again, because I tested a lot of different LEDs in my reflector housing. None of them were any good. They were garbaggio. But that's because they were reflector housings. With projector housings, I have a suspicion that I might do a lot better. So a future video, maybe, we'll see. But that is the end of this video. Thanks for watching, guys.